In this recording, we're going to take a closer look at new features in Levridge 2025 R2 in relation to the mark-to-market. This one is going to cover reporting groups and basis setup for defaulting in basis prices and inventory lines. So let's start with the setup. First thing, what a reporting group does is it allows you to combine multiple branches on the one mark-to-market. So you can include multiple branches instead of just one branch. First thing you need to do is create the group, and that's done under Commodity Accounting Setup Risk Reporting Groups. And in order to do that, you would select New, and you make an identifier for the group, description, and then down at the bottom here, you pick your branches. You pick the branch, highlight the branch, and then you insert it in. And these are the selected branches that will be used when running the mark-to-market based on a reporting group. Once this is set up, that is available on the mark-to-market price schedule. Now, when you select a reporting group right here, you cannot do a branch and a reporting group. You can only do one or the other. So if you tried putting in a branch, you can't do that. Once you set it up, you're going with reporting group. There is no other branch. You can't do both. But so now this here mark-to-market price schedule I'm setting up will include all of these branches and commodity corn, and it would be for a normal setup on the price schedule. So now when you hit initialize on this, it's going to pull in, it's going to go to all of those branches for that commodity and pull everything in that it needs on the mark-to-market. Purchase contracts, sales contracts, trades, and it will also add a line for inventory to price the inventory. Now, to do the pricing that it will use to default in for the inventory, if you want it to default in, there is a setup for that. It'll either go off of either the purchase or the sales side. So let's go to commodity accounting setup and commodity accounting parameters. Under commodities and risk management, you'll see an option here, default mark-to-market inventory pricing. So you'll set it up to either default from the sales price or the purchase price. Currently, we're set up on the sales price. And what that does is the pricing that is set up for the nearby delivery period and ticker is the price that it will put in for the inventory when it defaults in on the board price. And that's for purchase or sale. So when we do a load all board prices here, this went out on another video. We've talked about the defaulting in of the board prices. Either they're the flat price or the board price here. And when we go into this here, you can see it's defaulted in the price there for the inventory lines. The next thing to do is we want to load in basis prices. So now I've loaded in, you'll see here when I click load basis price, I've got load basis prices set up for some of the tickers, branches, delivery periods, zones, subzones. but there is a few that are missing. So right here, it tells us, you'll see at the top here, it's telling us there is no record found in the parent basis entry for this branch, commodity, delivery period, and ticker. And looks like we got a couple of them. So now the setup for the basis setup is under basis configuration, which is under commodity accounting risk management basis configuration. Now you'll see here there's a parent-child setup. So this tells us which branch is a parent, which ones are child. So in this case, I've got one parent's branch set up for this MF1. Then I have my other branches as children underneath it. So then you would go into the setup here for the parent branch, and it's saying that we don't have one for corn for parent branch. We don't have a parent one set up. So then we're going to go here, and it's going to say that the delivery period was 2511. And the ticker, I believe, is CZ25. Now we can set it up. We can set up each one of these here basis by a purchase contract, a sales contract, or for both, which would be all. Let's just set this one up for all. And you can also set it up for a specific market zone. So that market zone, if you leave it blank, it'll just default for all market zones. Or you can put in individual market zones. And here, let's just put in a basis here. And you have to publish it for it to be active. I believe there was one other one, 519. So let's set up another one. And we'll set that one up for all also. And we'll do it for all market zones at this point. And we'll publish. Now, if you need to set up, what it'll do is for the branch of MF3, for instance, it's gonna look first to the parent branch for this line here. It's gonna take that basis, and it'll take that value. And then if there's any additional like freight differential or anything, you can set up. You could set up another line in here. And we'll set it up for the corn commodity, and then we can add another time on that for basis. Let's say same thing here. We can do it for just purchase contracts, sales contracts, or all. Let's just leave it for purchase on that one. And if there is further basis adjustments that needed, you can also add more, and it'll just keep accumulating that adjustment for defaulting in on the market price schedule. So let's save this, see if we've got everything that we need. And we'll see here now, we've got our basis in there. And I guess I didn't do the additional, but there's where you would set up your basis, and that's how it will default in. And then now that this schedule is created, if we go to the mark to market, and we can calculate. Now, this has gone over in another video, but the changes to the mark-to-market to allow for multiple commodities and multiple branches, there's been extra columns added here. And this grid is changed so that you can see the details by commodity, by branch, and inventory, purchase contracts, sales contracts, and futures. And then you'll still get your grand totals for the gains and losses at the bottom. And each one of the lists here will break out by your site, and in the inventory case here and commodity purchase contracts, you'll see everything by the individual branches. Commodity, if you had multiple commodities here, we'd see it. Market zone, sub-zone, delivery period, delivery and ticker, and you can see the details for the calculations. Same thing on the sales contract. We've added columns for branch commodity and the futures. And that's the enhancements for reporting groups and inventory lines and basis setup on the mark-to-market. Thank you.